The truth is often darker than the imagination. In a world where shadows conceal unspeakable secrets, some stories emerge from the depths of the unknown to remind us that not everything can be explained or forgiven. It's easy to dismiss conspiracy theories as mere speculation or paranoid delusions. But what if some of them were true? What if, behind seemingly inexplicable events, there were hidden forces manipulating the fate of millions? In June 1978 in Tokyo, a young single mother named Yo Uchi vanished without a trace after a shift at the Cabaret Hollywood. The case was initially dismissed as a simple abandonment, but rumors began to circulate. Espionage, North Korean agents, secret operations. Was this an isolated disappearance or part of something much larger? Meanwhile, nearly a decade later, the sky over the Andaman Sea lit up with a devastating explosion. A Korean air flight crashed, killing everyone on board. Investigations revealed an even more sinister plot. Two North Korean agents acting under direct orders from Pyongyang. One died after biting into a cyanide-laced cigarette. The other was captured, carrying secrets that should never have come to light. But it's not just global tragedies that hide conspiracies. In our daily lives, we are surrounded by invisible systems that control us. Automatic subscriptions draining our finances, algorithms shaping our choices, and controversial technologies, like the mysterious heart attack weapon, that challenge our understanding of reality. In this video, we will dive into stories that prove some conspiracy theories are not just fiction. Prepare to explore the darkest corners of human history, where the truth is as terrifying as any nightmare. Tokyo, June 1978. A vibrant city, but also a labyrinth of secrets. Beneath the neon lights of the Cabaret Hollywood, where laughter and music mingled with cigarette smoke, a young woman named Yo Uchi disappeared without a trace. Yo Uchi was more than just a young single mother trying to survive in a relentless metropolis. She was part of an invisible ecosystem. A waitress by night, a caregiver to her child by day, a small but essential cog in the machinery of society. Yet, her life changed forever after her last shift at the Cabaret Hollywood. The next morning, her colleagues noticed her absence, but no one imagined her disappearance would be the beginning of something much greater. At first, authorities treated the case as another routine abandonment. After all, Tokyo is a city where people vanish every day, swallowed by the frantic pace of urban life. But rumors began to surface. Witnesses reported seeing strange men lurking around the neighborhood in the days leading up to Yo's disappearance. Men who spoke little Japanese and wore dark suits. Were they North Korean agents? Or just tourists? What makes this case even more disturbing is the geopolitical context of the time. During the Cold War, North Korea intensified its espionage operations in Japan, kidnapping Japanese citizens to train spies in local language and culture. Between 1977 and 1983, more than a dozen people vanished under mysterious circumstances. Could Yo Uchi have been another piece in this macabre puzzle? Later investigations revealed that the Cabaret Hollywood was more than just a nighttime hotspot. It was frequented by diplomats, businessmen, and even figures linked to the political underworld. Some theories suggest that Yo Uchi might have overheard compromising conversations, perhaps about secret operations or military experiments, and was silenced before she could share what she knew. But the case was never solved. The clues evaporated like smoke, leaving only unanswered questions. What if Yo Uchi is still alive somewhere, trapped in a parallel world we can't even imagine? Or worse, what if she was just another victim of a global conspiracy that remains active to this day? The disappearance of Yo Uchi is only the beginning. In a world where the truth is manipulated, every story hides another layer. And every layer, another shadow. While Yo Uchi vanished into the shadows of Tokyo, another tragedy was about to unfold, one that would echo for years to come, revealing even more disturbing secrets about the power of nations and their lethal games. In November 1987, a Boeing 707 from Korean Air took off from Baghdad, Iraq, bound for Seoul, South Korea. On board were 115 passengers and crew, many of them families returning home after visits abroad. It was a time of anticipation and national pride. The 1988 Seoul Olympics were just around the corner, and South Korea was preparing to shine on the global stage. But something sinister hung in the air. The plane never reached its destination. Just before crossing the Andaman Sea, a devastating explosion tore through the night sky. Fragments of the aircraft rained down over the dark waters, scattering debris and bodies across miles. There were no survivors. Initially, South Korean authorities suspected a technical malfunction or internal sabotage. However, it soon became clear that this was no accident. The investigation uncovered a horrifying truth. 2 North Korean agents had planted a bomb on the plane. Kim Hyun-hee, a young woman just 25 years old, and her partner, Kim Sung-il, were sent directly by Pyongyang to carry out the mission. Using forged passports, they detonated the device during a layover in Abu Dhabi. When confronted by authorities, Kim Sung-il swallowed a cyanide capsule and died instantly, while Kim Hyun-hee was captured. During interrogations, Kim Hyun-hee confessed everything. She admitted the attack was ordered by the North Korean government as part of a campaign to destabilize the Seoul Olympics. It was psychological warfare, she later said in interviews. But what's most chilling about this story is that Kim Hyun-hee didn't act alone. She was merely a pawn in a larger system, manipulated by invisible strings. The case of the Korean Air flight is more than an example of political brutality. It exposes the cold calculation of governments that treat human lives as pawns on a global chessboard. And while Kim Hyun-hee was eventually captured and released years later, one question remains: how many other operations like this remain hidden, waiting for the right moment to emerge? Every explosion, every death, every tear shed is a reminder that in a world dominated by conspiracies, the truth always comes at a price, and it's paid in blood. What if I told you that even something as mundane as a monthly subscription could be part of a larger game? A game designed to drain your time, your energy, and most importantly, your money? Have you ever felt that unsettling sensation when checking your bank statement and realizing you're paying for services you barely use? A music streaming service here, a meditation app there, maybe even a gym membership you swore you'd use, but never did. These small monthly fees start as harmless promises but quickly add up, siphoning resources that could be used more meaningfully. The problem isn't just the sheer number of services available, but the deceptive tactics used to keep you trapped. Canceling a subscription should be simple, right? Yet, many companies do everything they can to make it difficult. Annoying pop-ups, endless forms, customer service reps trying to convince you to stay, it all seems designed to wear down your patience and make you give up. Is it any wonder so many people end up paying for services they don't even use? But why does this happen? Because these companies know that the harder it is to cancel, the more likely you are to give up and keep paying. It's a meticulously planned system, almost like a silent conspiracy against your personal finances. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're being manipulated. Meanwhile, algorithms analyze your consumption habits, adjusting prices and offers to maximize profits. You're not just a customer, you're data in a giant machine. Now imagine this scaled up globally. If companies can manipulate our financial decisions through invisible systems, what else might be controlled without our knowledge? Governments and corporations have access to massive amounts of data about our lives, where we are, what we buy, what we watch. All of this is used to shape our behavior, often without us realizing it. Is it a coincidence that so many people feel powerless against these systems? Fortunately, solutions exist. Tools like Rocket Money have emerged to help consumers take back control. With just a few clicks, you can identify unwanted subscriptions, automate the cancellation process, and reclaim power over your finances. It may seem simple, but it's a crucial step toward confronting the invisible game that governs our daily lives. Subscriptions are just the tip of the iceberg. In a world where every click and transaction is monitored, who's really in control? Maybe it's time to start asking that question. What if I told you there's a weapon as silent as it is deadly, a weapon that leaves no visible marks, makes no sound, and can be activated from a distance? A weapon that directly attacks the human heart. The idea of a heart attack weapon sounds like something out of a science fiction novel or a horror movie. Yet, over the past few decades, rumors about this technology have circulated in conspiracy circles and even in obscure scientific publications. The premise is simple but terrifying. Devices capable of inducing cardiac arrest in specific targets without leaving evidence of external intervention. Although there has never been concrete proof of its existence, intriguing reports fuel speculation. During the Cold War, rumors emerged that both the United States and the Soviet Union were developing electromagnetic frequency-based weapons capable of interfering with human bodily functions. These experiments allegedly included manipulating brain signals and involuntarily controlling vital organs, such as the heart. Could these research efforts have evolved into something even more sinister? One of the most cited cases by conspiracy theorists is the sudden death of seemingly healthy public figures. Politicians, scientists, and businessmen who died of heart attacks at critical moments in their careers raised suspicions that something more was at play. For example, the death of American banker Edmund Safra in 1999, officially attributed to an arson fire in his apartment, sparked speculation about potential connections to global financial interests. Was there more to the story than what was reported? What makes this idea even more disturbing is its potential for mass use. Imagine a technology that could target entire populations, inducing heart failures in millions of people simultaneously. It could be used as a tool for population control or even as a form of silent extermination. Some theorists suggest that experiments of this kind have already been conducted on a small scale, testing the ethical limits of modern science. While many of these accounts remain speculative, they reflect a deep-seated fear that governments and corporations are willing to sacrifice human lives in the name of progress or power. And while definitive proof remains elusive, the doubt lingers. Are we living under the shadow of a technology that could kill us without our awareness? In a world where science advances faster than our ability to comprehend it, perhaps the most important question isn't, what is possible? But rather, how far are they willing to go? If there's one thing conspiracies teach us, it's that the most dangerous advances don't always happen in plain sight. In hidden laboratories behind locked doors, forbidden experiments shape our future, and may already be influencing our lives. Throughout history, governments and corporations have conducted scientific experiments that challenge ethical and moral boundaries. During World War II, programs like the Manhattan Project demonstrated the devastating power of science when used as a weapon. But what many don't know is that many of these experiments didn't end with the war. They evolved, becoming even darker and more secretive. A notorious example is the experiments conducted by the CIA during the Cold War under the MKUltra program. Officially, the goal was to study mind control techniques for use in espionage operations. However, reports reveal that this included non-consensual testing of drugs like LSD on ordinary citizens, prisoners, and even military personnel. The victims were often kept in the dark about what was happening to their bodies and minds. Many never recovered. These experiments raise profound questions. How far can humanity go in the name of progress? And who decides what is acceptable? Some theorists suggest that programs like MKUltra were just the tip of the iceberg. Persistent rumors claim that governments continue to conduct tests in areas like genetic modification, climate control, and even biological weapons. Is it a coincidence that mysterious disease outbreaks appear at strategic moments? But it's not just governments involved. Corporations also bear responsibility. In recent years, allegations have surfaced that pharmaceutical companies conduct trials in poor countries, where regulations are laxer and consequences can easily be concealed. Experimental vaccines, unapproved drugs, and even technological implants are tested on vulnerable populations without informed consent. This isn't fiction, it's a reflection of the world we live in. What these experiments reveal is a disturbing pattern: the use of science as a tool of control. Whether through mind-altering drugs, technologies that monitor our movements, or genetic manipulation that redefines what it means to be human, we're moving toward a future where free will may be nothing more than an illusion. The shadow laboratories continue to operate, silently shaping our destiny. Perhaps you've already been part of an experiment, and you don't even realize it. Is there anything scarier than the unknown? Perhaps it's the fact that governments and secret organizations have already studied these mysteries, and may even be using them against us. Since time immemorial, accounts of paranormal phenomena have fascinated and terrified humanity. UFOs, ghostly apparitions, near-death experiences, and even premonitions are part of global folklore. But what if these events aren't just coincidences or products of imagination? What if there's something much bigger, something that governments and intelligence agencies are hiding from us? One of the most famous cases is the Roswell incident in 1947, when an unidentified object reportedly crashed in New Mexico, USA. While authorities claimed it was merely a weather balloon, persistent rumors suggest that remnants of an alien spacecraft were recovered, along with extraterrestrial bodies. Declassified documents and testimonies from former government employees indicate that the Pentagon conducted secret research on alien technology, possibly integrating it into military programs. Are we being watched by eyes that don't belong to this planet? But paranormal phenomena aren't limited to UFOs. During the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union invested in psychic research programs, known as remote viewing. The idea was to use mental abilities to spy on enemies, locate nuclear weapons, or even predict attacks. Although officially deemed failures, reports suggest some experiments yielded surprising results that were never disclosed to the public. Who can say what really happened in the shadows of those laboratories? Another intriguing example is the Bermuda Triangle, an area of the Atlantic where ships and planes have mysteriously disappeared over the years. While scientists attempt to explain the events with natural phenomena like anomalous magnetic fields, some believe something more sinister is at play. Certain theorists suggest dimensional portals or secret military experiments might be behind these disappearances. Are we dealing with forces beyond our comprehension? What makes these phenomena even more unsettling is the possibility that they're being used as tools of control. Imagine a government manipulating collective fears, like alien invasions or supernatural activities, to justify extreme security measures or distract the population from pressing issues. In a world where fear is a powerful weapon, even the inexplicable can be domesticated. When the supernatural meets human power, where does truth end and manipulation begin? Perhaps the only certainty is that our rulers know more than they admit. In a world where every click, every step, and even every thought can be tracked, how free are we really? Or have we already sold our privacy without realizing it? The digital age has brought incredible innovations, but it has also delivered something far more sinister: mass surveillance. Security cameras on the streets, microphones embedded in our smartphones, algorithms analyzing our online habits. All of this creates an invisible web of monitoring that envelopes our lives. But who is on the other side of this network? And what are they doing with the information they collect? Governments around the world have used surveillance technologies as tools of social control. Programs like PRISM, revealed by Edward Snowden in 2013, showed that agencies like the NSA, National Security Agency, were intercepting global communications en masse. Emails, phone calls, text messages, nothing was out of reach. The official justification was to protect against terrorist threats, but many question whether these measures violate fundamental rights. Where is the line between security and oppression? But it's not just governments watching us. Corporations like Google, Facebook, and Amazon collect detailed data about our lives, from what we buy to what we watch, read, or search for. This data is used to create detailed consumer profiles, predict behaviors, and even influence decisions. Algorithms personalize ads, news feeds, and social media content, shaping our worldview without us even noticing. Are we being controlled by systems that know our desires before we do? What makes this surveillance even more frightening is its subtlety. There are no men in black knocking at your door or giant cameras pointed at your windows. Instead, the invasion is silent, hidden beneath the convenience of modern technology. Apps that promise to make life easier are actually turning us into products. Our privacy is the price we pay for free services. And while we accept terms of use without reading them, our data is sold, shared, and exploited. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect is the future this surveillance suggests. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence combines biometric data, like facial recognition and voice patterns, with financial records and browsing histories. Such a system could predict crimes before they happen, identify political dissidents, or even suppress unwanted voices. Are we heading toward a dystopia where individual freedom becomes nothing more than a distant memory? Every time you type a message, post a photo, or watch a video, remember, someone is watching. They know more about you than you realize. Since the dawn of civilization, secret societies have operated in the shadows, shaping the destiny of the world without ever being seen. But who are these invisible architects? And what do they truly want? Stories of secret societies permeate our culture, stretching back centuries. Groups like the Illuminati, Freemasonry, and the Knights Templar are often linked to conspiracy theories suggesting they control governments, economies, and even religions. While many dismiss these accounts as myths or exaggerations, there's something undeniably unsettling about the idea that a powerful elite might be pulling the strings behind the scenes. The Illuminati, for example, emerged in the 18th century as an intellectual group seeking enlightenment and freedom of thought. Over time, however, they were transformed into sinister figures by conspiracy theorists. It's said that their members infiltrated positions of power at all levels of society, orchestrating revolutions, wars, and economic crises to consolidate their influence. Is it a coincidence that so many world leaders share obscure connections or enigmatic symbols? Another intriguing example is Freemasonry, one of the oldest and most controversial organizations in the world. Though officially a philanthropic fraternity, its secret ceremonies and use of esoteric symbolism have fueled speculation that it serves hidden purposes. Some theorists claim the Masons are tied to a globalist agenda, working to establish a new world order under the control of a centralized elite. Others see their influence in historical monuments, like the pyramid on the US dollar bill, which bears the all-seeing eye, a symbol often associated with divine or governmental surveillance. Perhaps the most fascinating case is that of the Knights Templar, a medieval order that amassed wealth and power during the Crusades. Though they were persecuted and seemingly eradicated in the 14th century, rumors persist that they survived and continue to operate in the shadows. Some theories suggest the Templars evolved into modern organizations, such as the Bank for International Settlements (BIS), which allegedly controls the global financial system. Could their fortunes and secrets still influence the world today? What makes these secret societies particularly frightening is the idea that they operate beyond public scrutiny. Their decisions are not questioned, their motivations remain hidden. While many consider these conspiracy theories fantasies, they reflect a deep-seated fear, the fear that invisible forces are writing the script of our lives without our knowledge. When you look at the major events of history, wars, revolutions, societal changes, ask yourself, who is really in charge? Perhaps the answers lie hidden in the shadows. Everything is connected. Every conspiracy, every secret, every inexplicable event, all part of an invisible web that surrounds us. And at the center of that web there is something, or someone, watching. Throughout this video we've delved into the shadows of human history, exploring cases like the disappearance of Yo Achi, the Korean Air attack, secret scientific experiments, and even occult societies that supposedly govern the world. Each of these events is terrifying on its own, but when we connect them, a disturbing pattern emerges. What if they're not just coincidences? What if there's a greater force orchestrating all of this? Imagine, for a moment, that the surveillance technologies tracking our lives, the paranormal phenomena defying our understanding, and the secret societies operating in the shadows are all linked. Could it be a global elite manipulating events to consolidate power? Or perhaps something even more sinister, forces beyond our comprehension, using humans as pawns in a cosmic game? The possibilities are endless, but one thing is certain: we are being watched. What makes this web so difficult to unravel is its subtlety. It doesn't announce its presence with fanfare or open violence. Instead, it hides between the lines of history, in the systems we accept without question, and in the fears we prefer to ignore. It's easy to blame governments or corporations, but what if the true control runs deeper, something that transcends human power? But perhaps the most important question is, what can we do about it? Ignore these connections and continue living as if nothing is happening? Or seek answers even if they lead us to uncomfortable places? The truth is that, as long as we remain passive, we will continue to be puppets in this grand theater of shadows. But if we start questioning, observing, and connecting the dots, perhaps we can find a way out. In the end, perhaps the greatest conspiracy of all is the illusion of normalcy. We live in a world where the extraordinary is routinely hidden beneath layers of banality. But sometimes all it takes is a closer look to realize that the shadows are moving, and they have plans for us. You've made it this far. Now it's your turn to participate. If these conspiracy theories made you question reality, leave your thoughts in the comments. Which of these stories do you find most terrifying? Or do you have your own theory to share? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications so you don't miss more content like this. Together, we can uncover the mysteries surrounding our world, or perhaps discover that the truth is closer than we imagine.